Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome to the Bhakti Sanga Japa Group interview series for the newsletter. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing His Grace Sundaranand Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Ramapad Swami Maharaj, and he has been practicing Krishna consciousness since 2004 with the guidance of his mentor, Prema Taranjani Mataji, and received initiation from Ramapad Swami Maharaj in 2014. He works as an IT architect for his profession and currently is part of the Baltimore Temple congregation. He practices Krishna consciousness with his supporting wife and two lovely children, and with a very humble demeanor and simplicity of heart. He is a natural speaker on Srimad Bhagavatam and has been invited on various forums to speak on Krishna conscious topics. Prabhuji is known for his book distribution skills and interest in reading and presenting Srila Prabhupada's books in a kind and simple manner. He serves as one of the coordinators of Bhakti Sanga, especially engaged in assigning speakers and coordinating the Srimad Bhagavatam chapter summary sessions. Prabhuji also facilitates a few reading groups for reading and discussion of Srila Prabhupada's books. So welcome, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful to take your association today and to get to speak to you and get inspiration from you. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranamati. All good Sri Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kupasantubhyo paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Thank you for this opportunity to reflect also. Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, I guess we'll get started with some questions for you. So the first thing, thank you. Yes, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, how were you introduced to Krishna consciousness?
Okay, so for me, my journey started, thankfully. My wife already knew Krishna consciousness before my marriage. So that was a big advantage for me. And then it's a series of steps. Overall, to summarize it, it is a mercy of so many devotees, association of so many devotees, with careful nurturing and nourishment from my mentor and my spiritual master, with support from my wife. Those are the three main elements. Essentially, how it happened was, to go into little detail. So how it happened was, my wife introduced me to vegetarianism. So she was the inspiration for me to become vegetarian as soon as we got married. And then after some time, actually before marriage, I got a book. One devotee came to my home and knocked my home and gave me a Bhagavad Gita book, which I kept it in the shelf. I see this as a series of installments in my Bhakti Sukriti installments, deposits. And then my roommate before marriage happened to be chanting every day in a closet in our room. Because we're bachelors, we don't talk publicly. I'm doing bhakti like that. So he was chanting his rounds in the closet without my knowledge. And he's been feeding me prasadam without my knowledge. So series of deposits. And then we went to New Vrindavan, West Virginia, while we are in DC area. That time we got association of few devotees, like including Indrajit Swami Maharaj. So he invited us for breakfast, where I was nobody, we were no one, but still he was out of his causeless mercy. He invited me for breakfast and spent some time. And there are some devotees who spent time with me there. And then again, we went to DC temple. Interestingly, we went to New Vrindavan to find out there's a temple in DC also. And then my wife, with my wife's inspiration, she took me to DC temple. And then we were asking for some children program in the temple. That's how they invited us to meet our mentor. Interestingly, the one who introduced me to my mentor is the same devotee who gave me the Bhagavad Gita book in my room, in my home before marriage. So series of installments by several devotees. And then when we met the mentors, then we started attending weekly Bhakti Rushas, and they were carefully nurturing. My mentor Prem Mataji was carefully nurturing me throughout my journey and continues to nurture me and nourish me in my bhakti. So that is a short way of describing, but it's a series of installments and mercy by so many devotees.
Yes, yes. I love how Krishna works that way. Yes,
Yes.
and absolutely. And it's beautiful to see it happen so fast for you. I mean, to see a chain of
Mhm.
events.
Yes.
I really appreciate the part about your roommate chanting in the closet and you didn't even know, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's, yeah, the holy name is so very powerful.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yes, so I know we are so grateful in Bhakti Sangha Japa Group for all of the services that you do. Your classes are wonderful and by helping organize so much. And I'm wondering what brought you to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group? How did you find our group?
Oh, it was interesting. One time I like to hear classes. So once, once one of the devotees, local devotees here in the Baltimore congregation. So that time, her name is Naval Kishori Mataji. She told me, "Oh, Prabhuji, do you know there's a group called Bhakti Sangha Japa Group? They do Bhagavatam classes every day." So that's how I came to know something called Bhakti Sangha Japa Group exists. And then I started hearing classes. Then I came to know about the Bhakti Sangha group and started hearing morning classes at that time.
Mm.
So that was my first introduction to Bhakti Sangha Mataji.
Oh, wonderful. And how long ago was that?
Oh, that was, I don't remember exactly, but probably 6 years ago, maybe I'm thinking. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. That's so wonderful that you joined the group, and now you're doing such beautiful service of giving wonderful classes. As I mentioned at the beginning, I really appreciate your classes because they're so detailed and your presentation is lovely. And you always give us, I always feel like you go over, stories from Bhagavatam that we're already aware of, but the way that you give them to us is with so much detail that there are things that we have never necessarily heard or thought of before. And so I really appreciate your classes. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
service. Yeah.
Thank you for the encouragement. It's only whatever I speak is whatever I learned from other devotees only.
Mm.
So nothing comes from our own, as you know, in
Yeah.
Bhakti, everything we learn from devotees, some devotee or other in our
Mhm.
life. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, but your presentation of everything is really, really lovely.
Thank you.
So, how do you manage to keep yourself inspired in your sadhana, daily? How to do it consistently?
Yeah, definitely. One thing in my life, I was fortunate to have a close association of mentor for for a fixed amount of time, like few months. So that gave me a lifetime experience of how sadhana is done,
Mm.
how bhakti is practiced like that in a daily life. And then that inspiration, along with regular hearing and regular reading, actually keeps me inspired to do whatever I can. Of course, I have a lot of scope for improvement myself in my sadhana, but whatever I'm doing, my inspiration comes from my guru, mentor, and the devotees I hear from, and then the scripture we read. So what I do is I keep a regular program. We regularly hear every day morning, so uh, that way that inspiration can continue. Because Sri Prabhupada mentions regularly, or Srimad Bhagavatam mentions regularly how chanting and hearing is the essential part of bhakti, like that. That's so uh, my inspiration continues, Mother. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, as you said, we are often told, as long as we keep chanting, as long as we keep hearing, then we will be, drawn even more to Krishna. Yeah.
Yes.
It's wonderful how that works. Yeah. And so, Prabhuji, how do you prioritize your services? When you have multiple commitments, which I know you do,
Mm.
how do you manage to prioritize all of them?
Yeah, definitely it's a tough act for all of us when we have to do prioritize many things, when you have many things going on at the same times. Generally, there are many factors involved, as you know, in any decision making, including prioritizing our services. So, one of the formula my Guru Maharaj principle, my Guru Maharaj shared long time ago, was like this hierarchy of priorities that talk about how health comes first, then sadhana, then family, and then services like that. That is one good model to follow. And then once we follow that within the services, I consider what are my goals, long-term goals, 20 years from now. What are my goals? Is this service aligning with my personal goals? Number one. Number two, is this service affecting my sadhana or health or family services in any way? That's the second factor to consider. And another factor to consider uh, is this the most important service my community needs from me out of other services? For example, if I do this service, can this service be taken by somebody else? Like that also. At this point of time, obviously, all of us are not indispensable. At any time, anybody can do any service. But at this point of time, is it better for me to do this service for a community's sake, or is it better for me to do this service at this time? Like that, considering that. And then, yeah, based on those factors, Madhi, basically, is it contributing to my long-term goals? Is it affecting my sadhana and seva, current sadhana and current seva that is already there? That is important because long-term commitments, we should not impact them. And then, how is this helpful for my community? Is this helpful for my community or not? Like that, or is it just because I like it, I'll do it like that? So those are those are a few thoughts, Madhi.
Well, that's wonderful. It's very, spelled out, so it makes it easy to follow that process. Yes.
Yeah, yes, it's a training from my mentor actually, mentor and my guru. That is
Yeah,
helpful for me. Yeah.
that's wonderful. Thank you. I will take that to heart as well because
Yes.
because I sometimes find myself in the position of, someone asked me to do one service, but I have to do something else. And so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So my next question is, and this one I think is an important one because, like I said, I really appreciate your classes and the way you present everything. And the next question is, how do you study Shastra and present it so scholarly?
Mm. Yeah, it's a interesting and important skill for all of us devotees to learn how to study Shastra. So obviously, I'm not expert in studying Shastra myself, but whatever I learned was from the inspiration of my mentor and my guru. My Guru Maharaj regularly studies scripture, and my mentor studies scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. They both love Srimad Bhagavatam. So I gained some inspiration from them to study. And then for me personally, some of the key points for my personal study is when I'm studying scripture, I'm studying what is the verse, what is the translation, and then purport. I see why is Prabhupada talking about this? How is this connected to translation? My mentor taught me how to study like this. So I can connect the purport points to the translation. And then what are the key points in the verse, this verse number one? And then what are the key themes that Prabhupada is covering? Uh, and what can I apply in my life from this particular verse and this particular purport like that? And then looking at another angle, like, is this, how can I gain my appreciation for Bhakti or Krishna or devotees through this verse? That's another angle we can look at it also. And then also connecting to whatever I learned before on that topic. Is it exposing a new angle to it? Or is it apparently showing an opposite angle towards it? Like that, also look at that. And then if it's easily understandable for me to reconcile how the opposites can be true both the times, because Shastra often makes one statement here, another statement here. Both are opposite to each other for a neophyte like me. Then I seek guidance from my mentor. Why is this opposite like that? How can I understand it like that? Then Guru and Sadhu can help me clarify how to understand that properly. So essentially, like that, going through attentively, sincerely, whatever I can get. Obviously, I will not understand everything, but whatever I understand, I take it and then pray to Krishna for any inspiration for what we can learn and apply in our life, Mata. Yeah.
Yes, it's such a deep way of studying Shastra. Thank you for sharing that because I especially appreciate the part where you spoke about how what you're reading you can use in your own life. It
Mm.
makes it so practical. And also the part about how it can help you get closer to other devotees and appreciate them even more. I mean, that's really a beautiful way, because that way we really take it inside and not just, it doesn't just go to our heads, it also goes to the heart, which makes it easier to act upon and really take deeply inside. So thank you. That's really special. Yeah, I'm so glad I got to ask you that question.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah. And what you said at the end too, because I remember in one of your classes, you made a point that always sticks with me about how we don't have to worry too much about ourselves as devotees. Sometimes, as devotees, we have times where we feel like we're not, doing our service the way that we should. And, we kind of think low of ourselves. But I remember in one class you said that we have to remember that we're connected to Krishna, and Krishna is all powerful.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, so we need to remember that, we have Krishna, and as devotees, we're aware that we have Krishna. So, yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of bhakti process, that we have Krishna. We're not doing by our own effort. Yeah, makes sense, Mataji.
Yes, yes. So, my next question for you is, what do you feel is the most important quality for a devotee to develop?
Wow. Yeah, this kind of many qualities are there. Like we know, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about these are dear to me, these are dear to me, like that. So we also know from Chaitanya Charitamrita, out of the 26 qualities of the devotee, one quality is essential, which is Krishna Eka Sharanam, taking shelter of Krishna. Because when we develop that quality, then all the other qualities, Tatastha Akshana, they all will come like that. That's the main thing that works like a horse. Like when we're trying to please Krishna, when we're trying to take shelter in Krishna, that itself will drive all the other qualities. Because I want to please Krishna, I want to develop this quality. Because I want to please Krishna, I want to develop this quality. Like that. Beyond that first primary quality, Krishna Eka Sharanam, another thing I can think about is humility. Like how Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna talks about amanitvam, adambitvam. It starts with humility. So that is the first quality, very important quality for all devotees, like me to cultivate. I think, Mataji. Yeah.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because if we have that humility, then we can take shelter of Krishna, and really learn and absorb as much as possible in our processes of devotional service. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yes.
So I have another question, which I think you'll be very good at helping with, because you are so good at teaching bhakti and teaching Bhagavatam. And that question is, what or how to manage a group of devotees with conflicting ideas?
Mm. Yeah, that's important. I also struggle with it myself, but here is how I deal with it currently in my life. So whenever there are devotees with conflicting ideas, so I always remember the overall ultimate goal for all of us is to be in our relationship with Krishna, to serve Krishna. That is the goal for all of us. So while going towards that goal, many of us, each of us have a different approach sometimes. Like some details are different. Even though our ultimate goal is one, but each of us has a particular background, particular psychophysical nature, particular inclinations because of that, and particular interest because of that, and particular specific attraction because of that. So when we recognize that our ultimate goal is same, number one. Number two, when I value other devotees for their being in the process of Krishna consciousness, that means they're making commitment, whereas 99% of other population not making the commitment. When I value that, then I can develop respect for everyone. So when these two are in place, then we can understand that everybody has a different interest, and that's absolutely okay. It's not that my service is the only way that everybody needs to do, and it's not that my way of doing things is the right thing. Not I should not be attached to that idea that my way of doing things is the right thing. others people doing their way is not the right thing. Like that, there's not only one right thing. In Krishna's relationship with Krishna, there are many devotees with their own individualities, and they can serve Krishna according to their inclinations, their interests, and their current capacities, current strengths, and gifts that Krishna has given. When we see like that, then the conflicting tendencies will get reduced. When then we can accommodate everyone's interests. And like my Guru Maharaj gives this example of a vase, flower vase, where different types of flowers and sometimes even leaves are arranged in a flower vase to make it a beautiful collection. Similarly, all of us will make a beautiful gift to Krishna with our individual gifts that we have. Each of us is serving in our own way. That's absolutely okay. So basically, when we understand that, and if there are conflicts are going too much, then we can always redirect them. That this is our goal. How can we meet both of your interests together in towards that goal? Then we bring up that point again one more time. Then devotees will be willing to adjust and then come to a common solution usually.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that wisdom because, th we are part of such a big organization all over the world. I mean, I don't even know how many total devotees we have, but in ISKCON, but we're such a big organization and we're coming from different cultures and different backgrounds. So there's a lot to work with. So it is important, like you said, to remember to stay focused on the goal that we all have, which is to serve Krishna. So thank you.
Okay.
Is there any particular, long-term project within ISKCON that you would like to be involved in?
Yeah, I do have long-term goals, but not necessarily a specific project in ISKCON. But I like to contribute whatever to my capacity allows in serving others in two broad areas. One is how to create interest for somebody newcomer who doesn't know Krishna consciousness in trying Krishna consciousness. I've said not coming to Krishna consciousness, in trying Krishna consciousness, because if we allow somebody to experience Krishna consciousness for some time, then they can make their choice after that. So that is one area I would like to contribute whatever I can. And then, of course, I don't have full capacity currently, but whatever I can, uh, that is one area I want to grow in my understanding, grow in my skills to help devotees to try Krishna consciousness for some time. And second broad area I was thinking about is like already we have so many devotees who started Krishna consciousness, but how can I learn to practice steadily, grow steadily? And then when I learn something, then how can I share whatever I learn now, even though I'm at a lower stage currently, whatever I learned so far, how can I share with others so they can also practice steadily and grow in Krishna consciousness. Those are two broad aspects. I want to learn myself, and then I want to practice, and whatever I learn, I want to share with others. Mate.
Hare Krishna, I mean, your second one you're already doing by giving such beautiful classes. I feel like you share even what we've talked about today. You've shared so much of what you have learned and realized. So you're well on your way to your second goal. And I hope that another goal long term for you will be to stay with Bhakti Sanga Japa group.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm happy to serve with Sangha Japa Group and take association of wonderful devotees here. Yes.
Oh, no, no, we're so fortunate to have your association. So I hope that you stay with us for as long as the group exists.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. With Sangha myself also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, how do you think a neophyte, and this kind of connects to what you just said, how do you think a neophyte should learn to practice Krishna consciousness? Someone brand new coming in.
Yeah. I'm not I'm not so grown myself to give like a advice or recommendation, but uh, I can see from my own experience what happened, what helped me. from that perspective, I'll speak. Some devotees have the broader perspective. They can look at broad nature of devotees like that, and one comprehensive answer they can give. But for myself, I'm looking at my own growth in Krishna consciousness, and I'll answer like that. So I think when I started my Krishna consciousness, the main elements that helped me is a regular association of devotees, specifically with one strong relationship with one mentor, and regular association through hearing regularly. So these are the two elements: guidance from a mentor along with regular hearing are the key elements that help me myself. So I would think that will help anyone with a specific guidance from one mentor, and then strong hearing, regular hearing. Mataji.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And could you also please suggest one way in which Bhakti Sanga Japa group could improve?
Oh, okay. I don't know what else I can suggest. I love Bhakti Sangha because they already have so much variety and a depth to their offerings currently. I know the morning Bhakti Sangha the Japa calls are very nice. And then combine right after that is Srimad Bhagavatam classes there, wonderful. And then the mid-morning class for the devotees in other zones also, West Coast also is nice actually. And then I also know that they have a lot of children programs. I cannot think about improvements currently readily myself, but maybe one option, I don't know, maybe Bhakti Sangha Japa group is already doing it, I do not know. One thing to think about is if there's a need for certain devotees who don't have a local association and who don't have a local guidance, who don't have a mentor, arranging them some mentorship for them or some regular guidance from them beyond the offering of classes to them. That may be one area. If it makes sense to the leaders of the Bhakti Sangha group, they can think about. But otherwise, it's a wonderful offering already.
Yes, well, and thank you for that, Prabhuji, because I know just from my experience in being in the Bhagavatam classes that that question does come up. Many devotees will join without, in-person association or guidance. So that's a wonderful idea. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Mother.
Okay, so my next question is, whom do you derive inspiration from in bhakti?
Yeah, my inspiration is from my Guru Maharaj and my mentor, and then several devotees I hear from also. Like my Guru Maharaj is His Holiness Rompal Swami Maharaj, and my mentor, as you know, Prematangri Mataji. And then few devotees I hear, and I can hear anytime. Hari Parshad Prabhu, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu ji, Radhesham Prabhu ji, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami Maharaj. These are devotees I can hear anytime, any class, whatever they speak. I would be happy to be in their association. Yeah, those are the few of them. I think there are so many wonderful devotees. These are key people in my life currently.
And they're all such powerful speakers. So I can see it makes sense that they're the ones that you listen to because your classes, again, are so powerful and inspiring that you're just channeling, their energy through your classes as well. Yeah,
Yeah. We're just instrument in passing on whatever we learned, Mataji. Yes.
yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And my last question is, how do you encourage your family and friends in Krishna consciousness?
Okay. Yeah. This in this area, I've been growing. I'm not expert in this topic myself. I'm growing in this area, but essentially, um, I have a couple of principles. One is that bhakti, like the way I described how I got into the bhakti, is by series of investments different devotees made in my life, different times, in their own way, that helped me to come to bhakti. So I believe in that philosophy of principle of making bhakti deposits, bhakti sukriti deposits, as much as they can in the people we come in contact with, whether it is through giving books, through giving some opportunity to come in Krishna consciousness to them. whatever way they want to engage, giving them opportunities. Whether they take it up is up to them, but giving the opportunities is in our hands. And then also remembering the principles from Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, how Krishna suggests there's no only one way of coming to Krishna consciousness. There are multiple levels. So giving that flexibility to others to engage at their own pace, at their own level currently, is the other principle I like to follow. And then serve them in whatever capacity without pushing them, without forcing them. Serve them in whatever capacity to give some nuggets of whatever realizations I have and whatever happiness I'm feeling, sharing them periodically. So that way, that may serve as inspiration for them. Obviously, nothing is in my hands whether they take up or not, but giving some inspirations, whatever we got, whatever we understood as of now, and then most importantly, whenever there's a senior devotee association available, giving them the opportunity to come to that senior devotee association. Because the way I understood is, if there may be many devotees, including me, who can put small deposits in other people to start bhakti, but when they come in contact with pure devotees, that's when the fire will go. That's when they can really make it happen for them to take up bhakti sincerely. That's my understanding, Mataya, and that's what I try to do, whatever I can.
Wow, that was incredible. Yes, yes. I always think that, as you said, making those deposits, or, I always call it planting the seed. It will always grow no matter what, in ways, like you said, that devotee who gave you that Bhagavad Gita was also the one that you met later who, made that connection for you. So, yeah, yeah, I really I see what you mean. I think that's so beautiful. And yeah, if we plant that seed, eventually it will grow. We never know when. It may not even be this lifetime, but yeah, it comes back.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, is there anything else that you would like to share in this interview? Anything else about bhakti or about your practice of bhakti? Anything at all?
Uh, I cannot think about anything else, but I want to thank you for this opportunity, Matai. So this gave me a time to reflect in my own sadhana, in my own life. What am I doing? What I can improve in my own sadhana, myself. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, Matai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you, taking this time. And thank you so very much for sharing so many points of inspiration because you made me think about so many things just in this conversation.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Hare
Thank you so much,
Krishna,
Matai.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.